I'm a compulsive overeater, I'm bulimic, and I'm restrictor. And I'm so, so grateful to all of you for being here and being part of my journey. I'm scared, but it's a credit to this program that I can say I'm scared and sit with the discomfort of feelings and not want to run away. And so as I was pacing around, trying not to write notes and writing notes, a prayer came to me. So I'm just going to bring my loving goddess, HP, in here with me. Loving goddess, please be with me in this share. Save me from self-centered fear and afterwards from any self-criticism, self-pity, or imposter syndrome. Hold my hand and hug me and remind me that whatever I say, not a competition. Recovery is not a hierarchy. May every precious soul hearing me deeply feel your presence, your support, your guidance, and your love. I was unsure about how much to go into my childhood because we're told in our big book that the reasons for the illness are unimportant. And as I've moved through this program, I've forgiven and let go of a lot of resentments towards my parents. The big book tells me that most humans are likely to have a variety of traits. I, like my parents, were sometimes kind, considerate, patient, generous, modest, self-sacrificing, and also mean, egotistical, selfish, and dishonest. There's a bit of good in the worst of us, bad in the best of us. I experienced life like I was wearing an itchy jumper and I couldn't find the label to cut it out. I hope my internet's okay. Wave at me if I lock out. I was maladjusted to life and in a full flight from reality. That's what the doctor's opinion tells me. And I used food to get ease and comfort, to soothe myself. I remember very early on stealing food from my parents. My mom was very restrictive with anything sugary. If we got a going home bag from a party, she would take it and then give us one little thing at a time after every meal. As soon as I got money, I would stuff them in my mouth in that walk from the coach to the house and hide all the wrappers. I remember I had this little hole in the hedge. I was quite a lonely child. And I created this hole in the hedge where I felt safe at the end of my road. And I used to lay out all my goodies around me like this circle of protection. And just always needed something to be doing with my hands and with my mouth to not feel everything so deeply. I thought I was unique in this. And now I believe that most humans feel everything very deeply, but I felt like I had no skin. Everything would just get in, and I was watching other people like through a window. They all, and yeah, the overeating continued, and I kind of balanced it with sport and whatever, and I didn't really get to a large body weight, but inside I knew I was doing something really bad to my body and really unhealthy. And, you know, I would think about friends as what treats they had in the cupboard and how generous their mums were of giving them to me. Anyway, in my early teens, I got into drugs and alcohol, quickly learned that cigarettes or weed after a meal would give me a stop to the meal and avoid that grief I felt when I'd finished whatever I was eating. And so that kind of took over into my 20s. And it was always a symptom of this feeling of what I now know is restless, irritable, and discontented, maladjusted to life. I'm an escape artist. I just couldn't cope with life on life's terms. I felt so scared of everything and everyone. So I walked with these crutches, and every time I tried to walk without them, I would just fall apart. So I picked them up again, and I didn't have anything else. I was seeking God in different places. I was exploring different religions. I joined a couple of cults. I really wanted someone to tell me what to do, how to live this life. My God knows that I need a lot of God prods. I need to be told a lot of times something. So I put down the drugs and alcohol because I wanted to do a master's, and straight away the food came back. But this disease is progressive, and it came back with bulimia, big time. Firstly, just after meals with my family where emotions were very repressed, we didn't talk about our feelings, and I would go home and purge it all. And then it just became a daily way I dealt with my education, my master's. I would eat a lot in a library or whatever, and then find the nearest public toilet. And I was purging maybe 6 to 8 times a day. And I tried to tell people, I had a lot of shame about it. The first people I told were my bandmates. I love music. I'm a singer and a cellist, and I was in a band. We used to travel in festivals. And I told them, and they kicked me out the band. And then I told my mum, and she said, "No, you're fine. There's nothing wrong with you." And finally, in my second year, my master's, I was able to tell a very kind lecturer, and she put me in touch with the NHS. And I wasn't overweight or underweight enough to be in an inpatient unit, but they gave me a CBT outpatient weekly, which was very well-meaning and completely useless, but they did mention OA. And in that same week, a dear, dear, dear friend, fellow, one of my closest friends also said, "I think you would benefit from OA." And I read it in a book. I was like, okay, this is how God talks to me. And I entered the rooms, I was on my knees, and it was 2010, it was all face to face. And I remember them saying to me, "We will love you in these rooms until you love yourself." And that was huge. So I was released. It was a miracle. I was released from the bulimia by working these steps. And I just want to talk about how I work my program, because I can analyze and talk and work out and all these kind of things. I have an overthinking mind, and thinking is a problem. I need to take action. It's a program of action. Analyze, utilize, don't analyze. So I try to wake up in the morning and read page 84 to 88 of the big book. I don't manage that because I'm woken up with a very active 7-year-old and a 5-year-old and a girl baby who needs to breastfeed. But I do remember that kindness and tolerance is my code, and I've entered the world of the spirit. And I need to ask God to direct my life, because I got myself into a few 12-step fellowships, and God knows what I need. I get to 1 meeting a day at least, sometimes 2. It's essential for me. I've got a disease of forgetting. I need to hear the program. I need to hear the love of these rooms. I don't naturally love myself. I'm very self-critical. I make outreach calls 1 to 3 a day, particularly after meals or in the gap between lunch and dinner. I hear my God through my fellows. When I can't connect with her in this expansiveness on my own, then I hear her through our meetings, through our fellows, through our literature. I take photos of my meals and I send them to my sponsor. And when I do that, I pause and I pray. I had a lot of dishonesty in my life before program. I was almost trained to be dishonest, partly because of this disease and partly because of the way my parents did what they did. They did what they could, but I lied, and I learned how to lie. So honesty is super important to me, and those photos help to keep me clean. I bless before my food, I bless after my food. I don't have a lot of time in my life. I'm a mum to 3 young kids, thank God. Literature is all around. Time to read the whole book. I just read the titles. For today, Voices of Recovery, The Courage to Change, Abstinence, Seeking the Spiritual Path, Beyond Our Wildest Dreams. These are the books that I have around. They remind me of the key principles of our program. As I mentioned, my disease is progressive. I didn't start with bulimia. It came up later. So my recovery also needs to be progressive. So recently I've taken on a step 10 partner who's really helping me to just deal with the resentments and the fears as they come up, because I can't afford to have a resentment. I can't afford to be in fear, because I will eventually eat on it. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but it will fester inside me and it will block me from the loving light of my higher power. All of these things I do, they're just ways to be spiritually fit, to be in God consciousness. I write my gratitudes at the end of every day. Sometimes I write them at tea time. It's a really tricky time for me. I do a lot of service. My very life depends on the constant thought of others. That's what I did this morning when I was scared about this share. I just got on and booked some did some share finding, wrote to some fellows, checked some OA stuff. I don't know. My sponsees, they keep me safe. I love each and every one of them. And exactly the issues that I need to process, they bring to me and they open me, and we're on this journey together. Where have I been dishonest? Where have I been resentful? Where have I been fearful? It really, really supports my program. And when I have food thoughts, and I do, they're like little red flags saying, Anique, you need to do some program. You need to think of others. You need to connect with your loving higher power. Our 11th step talks about prayer and meditation. That's not or meditation. Prayer is me talking to God, me downloading, me venting, and she's all expansive. I can be angry at her. I can be scared with her. I can be resentful with her. She can take it all. And then meditation, which is the bit I'm learning and working on, is listening to the voice note, to the download, to what she wants to tell me. And my God voice is quiet and slow. And me. Okay, let me just connect. One of the things that this program has given me so much is compassion for myself, for all of my character defenses, all of the things that are inside me that I ask God to remove in her time. And I just wanted to read out my ever-growing list. And I feel like a fellow shared that it's like an umbrella. Self-centered fear is at the center, and there's all these prongs that go off it. I'm judgmental, I'm angry, I'm jealous, I'm resentful, I'm controlling, I'm self-righteous, I'm self-pitying, I'm a contradiction like we all are. I can be martyry, I've got gossip, I'm dishonest, I'm critical. I tell God what to do. I think I'm God. I'm a drama queen. I'm codependent. I struggle to set boundaries. I can be selfish. I lack trust. And in all of this, I know that I'm not bad. I might have done bad things, but I'm not a bad person. I might have made mistakes, but I'm not a mistake. In all these things, my God holds me and tells me, you are loved. Like all of us, we are loved. Just like I love my children. Okay. So
That's 1
Bill
minute to
W.
go, Anique.
Okay, amazing. I just want to say that Bill W. was asked if he could change one word, what would he change in the big book? And he said he would change the word rarely. Not rarely have we seen a person who has thoroughly followed our path succeed. Never have we seen a person that has thoroughly followed this path. This program of action has saved me. And I just want to share the to be prayer because it's helped me through relapses and through slips. Oh God, I'm not what I ought to be, and I'm not what I want to be, and I'm not what I'm going to be. But oh Lord, I thank you that I'm not what I used to be. Thanks for listening to me. Thank you, higher power, for helping me get through this share. I hope one word was useful to someone in this room, and I bless us all to feel loved, to feel connected, and to feel safe in this world.